Good morning, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you've all had a good week this week. I've had a lovely week. I've put my decorations up. You can see I've got my lights up in my little studio. And I'm also starting my kids yoga teacher training today, which I'm super excited about. So yeah, I'm in a really good mood today. But this session this morning is actually designed to combat depression. And I think a lot of people do tend to suffer with the winter blues when it gets to this time of year. We've got dark mornings and dark evenings, and the weather's changing. And so often it can get a lot of people down. So this session this morning is designed to combat that, to give you a boost of energy. Morning, Julie. Thanks for joining me. Um, and yeah, just kind of like get those energy levels up, and help you to feel a little bit more positive and a little bit happier. So as always, just do as much or as little as you want to, just depending on how you're feeling today. So just listen to your body and go with whatever feels right for you. So we're going to begin by sitting down on the mat. So get yourselves nice and comfy. So I'm going to start with my legs crossed, but just do whatever you need to do to get yourself nice and comfortable. So if you need to prop yourself up on a block or a pillow, or if it's more comfortable for you to sit in a different position, that's fine as well. So just take a moment to wiggle those shoulders out, let them relax down. Feel your hips starting to plant down into the floor. So just sinking down, beginning to relax, but then feeling that sensation of lifting up through your spine and up through the crown of your head. So sitting up nice and tall, and rest your hands either on your knees or in your lap, just somewhere where they can be nice and relaxed, letting go of any tension. And if it feels all right for you, you might want to close your eyes now or soften your gaze, just gently look down to the floor. And we'll begin by slowing everything right down. So as usual, there's always a lot going on at this time of year, even this year when we've just come out of lockdown. Morning, Darren. Sorry, I'm really far away from the screen, so I'm trying to read everyone's messages, but thanks for joining me. So yeah, you might have a lot of stuff going on in your mind at the moment. So we're just going to take a moment to slow that right down and let any of those thoughts, any of those nagging feelings, any of those emotions that are not working for you right now, we're just going to take a moment to let those go, to allow our mind to become nice and quiet and still. So we use the breath as a tool to do this. I always like to bring the focus to the breath at the start of every session, and it just helps to calm you, to focus you, and to allow everything else to just melt away. So bring your focus to the breath, not trying to change it, just being aware as you breathe in and out. And just visualize all of those thoughts that might be clinging on there in your mind, just beginning to float away, one by one, letting them melt away as you just keep focusing on your breath, becoming aware of the sensations as you inhale and exhale, your chest gently rising and falling with each breath, feeling your shoulders gently rising on the inhale and then falling down on the exhale. Just keeping that focus on the sensations inside your body, switching off from everything that might be going on outside. Whatever's happening in the outside world, it doesn't matter right now. We're in our nice little calm bubble, nice and quiet and relaxed. So begin to take more control over your breath. We're going to breathe as slowly as we possibly can. We're really going to use the breath in today's class because it's going to be a nice flowing class. So it's always nice to link the movements with the breath. So we're going to breathe in and out through the nose if that's possible. Taking a big deep breath in, drawing the breath all the way down, deep down to your belly, and then exhaling through your nose completely. So really trying to slow that breath down, making every breath count. Really enjoying each intake of breath. And every time you exhale, make it nice and slow. Feel everything relax. As we exhale, our body releases the hormone oxytocin, which is a feel-good hormone. So make those out breaths nice and long and slow. Really make the most of that. I'm just going to do a few more of these breaths, keeping the focus, allowing your mind to be nice and quiet, and just really enjoying the connection between your breath and your body. Noticing how it feels. And after one final really lovely deep breath in and out, just open your eyes. And we're going to stretch our neck out just gently. So begin by taking your right ear down to your right shoulder, relaxing both of those shoulders, hands just gently resting on the knees. Now if you want to intensify the stretch, you can drop the left hand off your knee onto the floor, and it just lengthens, it draws that shoulder down, creating more space between your ear and your shoulder. And if you want to make the stretch a little stronger, we can take the right hand and gently rest it on the head. We're not pulling on the head, we're just allowing a little bit of weight from that hand to gently increase that stretch. So continue to breathe slowly and deeply, sending that breath all the way down the left side of the neck, giving those muscles time to release their tension, allowing them to let go. One more breath in and out. And then carefully release the hand from the head, bring the other hand up onto the knee, and then bring the neck back up. So we have to be really careful when we're stretching out the neck that we don't move everything at once. So this time we're going to take the left ear to the left shoulder, hold it there for a breath or two just as it is, seeing how it feels. It might feel quite different on this side. And if you want to take the stretch further, gently drop the right hand to the floor, feeling that stretch increase between the ear and the shoulder. And the option is also there to place the left hand on top of the head. So just take a few deep breaths here. Really slow breaths. Relaxing that shoulder further down on the exhale. Feeling that stretch increase. And then when you're ready, carefully release both hands back onto the knee and bring the head back up. Lovely. Okay, we're just going to take the head down and up a couple of times. So just gently lifting the gaze up to the ceiling and then bringing it down to the floor. Feeling that stretch in the front of the neck as you look up, and then down the back of the neck as you tuck your chin to your chest. So just going to do that a couple more times. So we're going to bring a little bit more movement into this now, moving into a seated variation of cat-cow pose. So as you inhale, you look up, and at the same time as looking up, slide your hands in towards your body, pinch your shoulder blades and your elbows back behind you, lifting your chest up. And as you exhale, your head comes down, slide the hands away and just round through the back. Good. Inhale, slide the hands back in, looking up, pinching the shoulders back. Exhale, slide them away again, chin to chest, round through the shoulders. So keep moving and just try to feel into the stretch, moving in a nice flowing way that works for you. So it might feel more comfortable to not move the head quite so much. It might feel more comfortable to not move the shoulders quite so much. So just do whatever feels nice for you. Just allow yourself to fall into this stretch. we're getting the spine moving now. Making sure that you're moving every bit of your back as you round through that back, pushing those shoulders back. And then as you sit up nice and tall, pinch the shoulder blades back. So just do a couple more of these. And then curl yourself back up, sitting up nice and straight and tall. Okay, bringing the right hand down to the floor beside you now, just resting on the fingertips. So we want to stay nice and upright here as we move into a side stretch. Inhale to float the left arm up. Exhale, coming over to the side. We're going to keep moving with the breath. So as you inhale, we come back up, sitting up tall. Exhale the arm down, staying on the same side. Let's inhale the arm up again. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale down. Lovely. Keep moving for a few more breaths like this. Remind your left hip to stay rooted down. So if it's starting to rock, if you're starting to lift that hip as you reach over, just remind it to keep rooting down. So all we're doing is creating space down the side of the body. We're going to do one more. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bringing the left fingertips to the floor now to keep you nice and upright. And we'll go to the other side. Inhale that right arm up. Exhale into that side stretch. Inhale back. Exhale down. Lovely. Keep going with this one. Breathing nice and slowly and moving in harmony with your breath. So it all depends on how slowly you can make that breath. So you're going to be moving at a slightly different pace depending on that breath. So just tune into your own body. Close your eyes if it helps, so you're not trying to keep up with me. You really are moving at your own pace. And we're going to do one more. Inhale up. Exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale back down. Lovely. Okay, so I'm just going to swing my legs around to the side so that I can come up into a kneeling position. I'm also going to turn to face sideways because we're going to do basically a seated variation of the sun salutation, so something a little bit different today. So the movements are effectively the same, but you're not standing up, you're just kneeling down. So it's a little bit easier for everybody. So we will be coming to lie down on our belly. So obviously if any of my mums to be are watching this workout this morning, probably best to miss that bit out and just stay in a child's pose. But everybody else, we're just going to sit back onto our heels. Relax the shoulders down. So you want to be sitting up lovely and straight and tall, lifting up through the crown of your head. And just gently engage your core muscles as well. So draw your belly button in towards your spine to get that lovely, nice posture as we sit up nice and straight. So as you inhale, we're going to float up onto our knees and take your arms up and over your head. So reaching up nice and tall. And then as you exhale, I'm going to bring the hands down to the floor and sit the hips back to the heels, coming into a child's pose. So bringing your forehead down towards the floor as much as you can. On the inhale, rock yourself up into a tabletop position. And then exhale, sit the hips back to the heels. Now we're going to slide ourselves forward onto our belly. So slithering forward like a snake. And then coming to rest up on your elbows and forearms in that little back bend, which is Sphinx pose. Hold it here for a breath or two, just allowing your lower back to adjust to the stretch. If it's too much, you can just rest down on your belly. Okay, so from here we're going to push ourselves back into child's pose once again. So push into those hands. Walk the hands back so your hips come back to your heels and your head rests down. Then we're going to rock up into our tabletop position. Exhale back down into child's pose. And then on the inhale, we're going to come all the way up into that kneeling position, bringing your arms up and over your head. And exhale, bring the arms down, sit your hips back to your heels. Brilliant. Okay, let's go through that again. Inhale to lift up, reaching those arms nice and tall. Exhale, coming back into a child's pose. Hands come all the way down to the floor, head comes down, hips come down. Inhale into our tabletop. Exhale, sitting back into child's pose once again. And when you're ready, slither forward like a snake, really rounding through that back as you do so. Lifting the chest and shoulders up into Sphinx pose, resting down on the elbows and forearms. Take a deep breath in and out. And then we're going to push back into our child's pose once again. Hips to heels, head down. Inhale up into the tabletop. Exhale, sitting back into child's pose. And inhale all the way up, reaching those arms up over your head. Exhale, sit back onto your heels. Lovely. So it's a much gentler version of the sun salutation, but you are effectively stretching out the same muscles, but it's not quite so tough on the core and the lower body, but you're still getting that lovely stretch in the upper body and still just gently warming up as well. Okay, so we're going to come back onto our hands and knees into our tabletop position. And this time, take a moment just to make sure you're nice and comfortable. So if you need any extra padding under the wrists or the knees, either roll over the edge of the mat to double it up, or bring in a little blanket or a cushion or a jumper or something for some support. Okay, so we're going to do a gentle side stretch, just flowing, and then we're going to come into our thread the needle pose. So we're going to start with the left arm. So my advice for this would be to slide the right knee slightly back, and that will just make the twist a bit less intense on your lower back. It might feel fine keeping the knees where they are, and that's great, but this is just a way to modify it if you slide that right knee back slightly. So as you inhale, you're going to take this left hand and float it out to the side and up, reaching up nice and tall. And if you want to look up following the hands as well, you can, but you don't have to. And on the exhale, we float it back down. So just bringing it back down to the mat for now. And again, inhale, float the same arm all the way up, reaching nice and tall, opening your chest out to the side. Exhale down. Inhale back up. Exhale down. This time the arm's going to go all the way under the right arm, lowering the shoulder and the head down to the floor, threading the needle, getting that lovely shoulder stretch. So if you're able to rest your head and your shoulder down on the floor, then allow them to take all of your weight. If you're not, you might want to use a pillow or a block or something to rest the head on, just so you can put your weight into it. So it's not your hand or your arm is not holding that weight. So only if you're able to rest that head and shoulder down, slide the right arm out in front of you. So straightening that arm. So you're just looking underneath that right armpit. So we've got a nice stretch going on here all around those shoulders. Keep those hips nice and high. Keep those feet nice and relaxed on the floor behind you. One more deep breath in and out here. And then slide the right hand back in so it comes underneath the shoulder and press into that palm. Bring yourself back up. Take your time to get back into that nice tabletop position. And then this time we're going to slide the left knee back slightly if it helps to make the stretch a bit easier for you. And we'll inhale to float the right arm up, reaching up nice and tall, and exhale to float it back down. And again, inhale, reaching tall, opening that chest out to the side. Exhale down. And last time, inhale up. Exhale down, and that hand's going to come all the way underneath the left arm, threading that needle, bringing the shoulder and the head down to the floor. Now, if you can rest them all the way down, and again, it might feel quite different on one side to the other, so don't worry if that's the case. But if it can rest down, straighten out that left arm in front, peeking underneath your armpit. And just allow yourself to rest here for a few breaths. Feeling that stretch across the outside of the shoulders. And then when you're ready, slide the left hand back in, press into the palm. Come back up into your tabletop. Okay, so we're just gonna do a quick hamstring stretch. So taking your left leg out behind you. Keep your toes touching the floor. And then we're just going to gently push the heel back. So feeling that little stretch into the hamstring. So relaxing your head and your neck. Releasing any tension there in the shoulders. And just gently pushing into that leg. Stretching out any tightness or any tension there. And then we're going to take that left leg, and all we're going to do is we're just going to cross it over to the other side of the mat, so it's going to come behind the right leg. And if you can, turn to look back over your right shoulder so you can look at that foot. So you're getting a little bit of a stretch down the left side of your body, and a little bit of a pinch into that right hip, the right side body. Hold it there for a breath. And then look forward once again and bring that foot back to where it was. And then bend the knee in. And we'll switch sides, straightening out the right leg. Toes touch. Push that heel back. Just gently feeling into that hamstring. Enjoying that nice stretch. Remember, you're in complete control of this stretch. If it feels too much, you can just ease off completely. Just pushing that heel back as far as feels all right for you. And we'll take it into that little side bend, so crossing that foot over onto the other side. And then turning to look back over the left shoulder this time, so looking at the foot. And it's just a small change here, but we are actually stretching into a different part of the hip. And we're also lengthening one side of the body and compressing the other side. So quite a lot going on in this really little movement. Lovely. Okay, bringing the foot back to center and then stepping it in. So taking the left leg out behind us this time, once again, we're going to pivot the foot so the heel comes to rest down on the floor. And then we're just going to pivot the bent knee so that that foot comes slightly out behind you, so it's a little bit more stable. So you should be able to lift this left hand away from the floor, and you're nice and stable in those sort of 4 points that you've got touching the floor. So when you're ready, inhale to float this left arm, excuse me, taking it all the way up to the ceiling if you can. So it should be a feeling of lifting up through those fingertips. So this right hand that's supporting you, you shouldn't be feeling too much weight going into that hand because you're lifting up, you're lengthening. Draw your belly button in towards your spine just to switch on the core muscles, and they will help to stabilize you and lift you up. And then as you inhale, we're going to float the arm over the head. So this time we're reaching towards the side wall and we're feeling a big stretch all the way down the left side body. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to press into this right hand, and we're going to push ourselves up onto our knee, okay? We're going to bring the left hand down onto the straight leg and lift the right arm up instead. So coming into gate pose. If you want to take it into a bit of a side stretch, you can do. So just resting the hand on the leg and reaching and lengthening through the other hand. Lovely. And then we're going to bring that hand carefully back down to the floor, taking our weight once again. Bringing the other hand down to the floor too. And then pivoting the knee and the foot so we're facing in the right direction once again so we can bring the knee back in. Lovely. Let's go to the other side. So taking the right leg out behind you. Pivot that foot, so drop the heel down to the floor and pivot the other foot out behind you too. Begin to lift up the right arm. So we inhale, floating it up, reaching up nice and high. Switching on those core muscles to help keep you nice and stable and lifting up so there's not much weight going into that left hand. Reaching and lengthening, breathing deeply. And then when you're ready, take the arm over your head, getting that lovely big side stretch all the way down the right side of the body. So pushing down into the outside edge of that foot and reaching with the fingertips, getting that lovely big extension. And then push into the left hand this time to push yourself up. Sorry, I'm facing away from you now. But we're going to drop the right hand onto the leg and float the left one up. Reaching up nice and tall and taking it into a little side stretch if that feels okay for you. Holding it here for a breath or two. Really enjoying that big stretch all across your hip and up the side of your body and your shoulder. Bring that left hand back down to the floor. Right hand comes down to join it. Pivot both legs so they face forward and step that knee back in. Okay, so we're going to come up into a downward dog now. So when you're ready, tuck your toes under. Inhale and then exhale to lift the knees and push the hips up nice and high. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice this morning. So we're only going to hold this for a couple of breaths. So just maybe you might want to pad those feet one at a time, straightening out the back of one leg then the other, but keeping the head and the neck nice and relaxed. And then we're just going to begin to walk the feet in towards the hands. So little baby steps as we take those feet in, coming into a forward fold and then curling ourselves all the way up. Nice and slowly. Coming up to stand. Well done. Okay, so we're going to do a little standing sequence now. Just our warrior flow sequence that we do quite a lot. It's a nice, really good general strengthening sequence. It works the whole body. So if you want to come towards the top of your mat, make sure you've got a bit of space behind you and take your feet hip width apart. Toes are facing forward. Shoulders are relaxed and down. And then when you're ready, we're going to step back with the left foot. So take a big step back with that foot. Nice big step back. So we're keeping the left heel lifted, but we want to straighten that back leg as much as we can. So suck that knee up into the leg. And then we're going to bend the front knee. So this right knee is just going to bend so it comes over the ankle. Hips should be facing forward. So you'll probably get a big stretch all the way down the front of that back leg. Sink the hips nice and low so that you come down a little bit so that that front knee is over the ankle. And then you can either bring your hands together in front of you or you can inhale and float them up and over your head. So whatever feels best for your upper body. So we're not coming into a back bend, we're just lifting up. So relax your shoulders down, but lift up through your fingertips. Keep sucking that knee up into the leg, on that back leg, nice and straight. Keep sinking those hips nice and low. Warrior one, nice and strong. Okay, then we're gonna windmill the arms round to the side. So we're pivoting that back foot so that it turns to face side on. We're keeping the hips sinking nice and low. That right knee is still over the ankle. And that left leg is still nice and straight, but this time we're pushing down into the outside edge of the foot. We're in warrior two. Sink the hips nice and low. Keep those leg muscles switched on and engaged, nice and strong. And we're going to flow now in the pose. So flip the palm of your front hand. Inhale to float that arm up and the other arm down to rest on the leg. Reaching up and over into that back bend. And then inhale to come back up into the warrior two. And then exhale the other way. So this time the right arm comes down, resting it on the knee, and the left arm comes up and over. Inhale back up. Exhale into reverse warrior. Inhale up. Exhale over. Good. We're going to do it once more. Trying to keep those legs switched on, nice and strong, but keep the upper body lovely and light, nice and graceful as we flow between the two. Back up into our warrior two. Float the arms down. And then we're going to turn the feet to face the side once again and step that back foot forward to join the front one to the top of our mat. So just take a moment to give the legs a little shake out. Make sure they're feeling okay and ready to do the other side. And I'm going to turn to face the other way so haven't got my back to you. Okay, so we're stepping the other foot back this time. So big step back with the right foot. Keeping that heel lifted. Lifting the knee up into the leg, really straight with that back leg. Bend the front knee over the ankle. Turn the hips to face forward. Sink them nice and low. And then either hands in front of your heart or hands up and over your head. Sink those hips low. Lifting up through the upper body and sinking down through the lower body. Keep lifting that back knee. Don't let it get lazy and bend. Breathing here. Sending the breath into those leg muscles. Lovely. Then we're going to windmill our arms round to the side, pivoting that back foot, making sure that the feet are in line, and then sinking the hips low once again so that this front knee comes over the ankle, back foot pushes down into the outside edge of the foot, into warrior two. Holding it here for a breath, nice and strong in those legs. And let's flow. Flip the palm of the front hand. Inhale to float it up. Back hand comes down into reverse warrior. Inhale back up. Exhale the other way. Bringing that left arm to rest on the knee. Right hand comes up and over. Inhale up. So move with your breath. Don't worry about trying to keep up with me or anyone else. Keep those legs switched on. Flowing nice and gracefully with the upper body. Last time to each side. Back into warrior two. Bring the arms down, pivot the feet and step that foot forward. Back to the top of the mat. Well done. Okay, so we're going to take our feet nice and wide apart. Turning those toes out about 45 degrees. We're going to bring the hands onto the hips. And we're going to fold forward. So hinging from those hips, keeping that back nice and flat. as the chest comes down. When you get to a tabletop position, so when that back is nice and straight, just going to take a moment to push the hips back. Feel a big stretch down the back of those legs. And then we're going to float our arms out to the side. So like a bird, we're spreading our wings and we're just gently dipping our chest down. Look down towards the floor so you can feel like you're reaching forward through the crown of your head, pushing back through your hips. Okay, and then we're going to bring the right hand down to the floor and the left one up towards the ceiling, coming into a twist. And then bringing it back. And taking the left hand down, right hand up. Lovely. We're going to do that a few times, just going nice and slowly. And you might want to move your head to follow the hand as it goes up. But if that's too much on the neck, just keep looking down or keep looking to the side. Stretching and twisting into the side body. We're going to do one more to each side. And then bring both hands down to the floor now. So if they don't quite reach to the floor, just let them dangle, just let them hang, or rest them on your legs if you want to. Let your head hang heavy. Give it a shake to make sure you've not got any tension in your neck. Letting it all go. Feeling that stretch down the back of the legs. Allowing your shoulders just to rest down. Let those arms become really heavy. And slowly curl yourself back up. So keep those arms nice and heavy. Let them come up last of all. Rolling up through the back. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Giving yourself a little bit of a wiggle. And then either jump or step those feet back in. Brilliant. Okay, we're going to come to lie down now. So just coming to lie down on your back in any way that is comfy for you. And then straighten out your legs. Straightening out one leg and then the other. And float your arms up and over your head. We're going to come into a full body stretch here. So reach through your fingertips. Kick through your heels, lengthening the body. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Feel that breath traveling all the way down to the tips of your toes. It's an energizing breath. Even though we're coming down to relax, we're still keeping that energy nice and high. But we're allowing our muscles to soften and relax. So another deep breath here, sending it all the way through the body. And then, as you exhale, float the arms back, up and over, down by your sides, and bring your knees into your chest. So give them a nice squeeze in towards you, holding them in nice and close. And you might want to rock a little bit into that lower back. Okay, so we're going to keep these knees where they are. So probably lift them a little bit further away from your body if you've got them squeezed in really tight. And we're going to take the arms out to the side. So take the arms nice and wide, resting your palms down on the floor. So we're going to take these knees from side to side, but it's really important that you're using your core muscles to control this movement. So take a moment now just to press your lower back down into the floor. So switching on those core muscles. Feel your belly button draw down towards your spine. Your lower back presses down into the floor. Nice and engaged. And then when you're ready, we're just going to let both knees fall across to the right. They're not coming all the way to the floor. They're only going until those core muscles start to work. And then we're going to use the core to bring them back to the center. And let them go the other way. Again, just going as far as feels all right for you. And as soon as those muscles start to work, bring them back. Lovely. So just keep moving now from side to side. Using the core to help. So depending on how you're feeling today, these legs could be going quite far, or they might only be moving ever so slightly from side to side. So just listen to your body. Notice how it's feeling and just go with whatever feels right for you. The key thing here is keeping control. Don't allow yourself to fall all the way down onto one side. It's that gentle control from the core that's going to be really beneficial. So every time we work on our core muscles, that core chakra, we're starting to light up our inner fire. So let's get that inner fire going a little bit with these muscles. Keep them switched on. Keep the lower back pressing down to the floor. Nice and strong. Lovely. Okay. And then bring them to stillness, resting your hands on your knees. We're going to do some circles now with the hips. So keeping your big toes together. We're going to take the knees nice and wide and then bring them around again. So we're rocking into those hips. We're massaging the hips and getting that mobility in the knees and in the hip joints. So just take the circles as big as feels comfortable for you. But remember, keep the toes together so you haven't got your legs aren't going all over the place. You're keeping those toes together and it's just the knees that are opening and closing. Nice big circles. And then we're going to change the direction of those circles, so pushing them away from you and then opening the knees out, bringing them back round. So just massaging in a slightly different way into those hips and also working slightly different muscles around the hip joints too. Okay, one more nice big circle. And then bring those knees back together. This time we're going to reach the arms down the inside of the legs. We're going to come into happy baby. So take hold either of the outside edges of the feet or the ankles or the shins, but grab on somewhere on those legs. And then we're going to take the soles of the feet up to the ceiling and draw the knees down to the floor at either side of us. So just enjoying that lovely hip opening stretch. And like a true happy baby, you might want to rock from side to side. Just enjoying a little bit of a massage into the lower back and the hips as well. And the rain's just started outside. I'm so happy I'm in here with my little fairy lights. So feeling that pinching sensation in the hips at any point. If you need a little break, bring the feet together, take the knees out apart, and then take those feet back up again. It just releases any tension that might have built up there. And just allows you to stretch a little bit deeper into those joints. Okay, bring the feet back together and bring them down towards the floor. So keeping those knees bent, resting the feet down on the floor. This time we're going to take our right foot, we lift it up and cross it on top of the left knee, allowing that knee to gently fall out to the side. So give it a few breaths just without doing anything at all, just letting that knee gently open up out to the side, beginning to open up into the inside of that hip joint. Just allowing yourself to slow down. Now, if you want to make the stretch a little bit more intense, you can begin to pick up that left foot from the floor and draw the knee closer in towards you, so it brings the ankle in towards you as well. That intensifies that stretch. If that feels all right, you can take hold around the back of that left thigh. Just interlace your fingers so you can hold on to that leg. So keep pushing that right knee away from you so it keeps opening out to the side. The stretch here is all the way around the outside of this right hip. So we're stretching into those deep muscles that run across the hip joint, in particular the piriformis muscle, the one that's responsible for sciatica. So we really want to stretch out that muscle, opening it up. So you might even want to straighten up that left leg, taking the foot up towards the ceiling, getting a bit of a hamstring stretch as well, 2 for 1. So pushing the heel up towards the ceiling, drawing the toes down. So hold it for 2 breaths, enjoying the stretch. And then bend that left knee again. Bring the foot back down to the floor and release the right foot. Swapping sides now, crossing the left ankle on top of the right knee. And take a few breaths here, just allowing the knee to gently fall out to the side. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply through the nose, just bringing that focus back to the breath. If you've returned to natural breathing, try to be consciously breathing in and out through your nose, as much as possible. So if you feel that hip beginning to release, if you feel that knee gently falling out to the side, then you might want to begin to lift up the right leg. So again, holding on around the back of the thigh, drawing the knee and the ankle closer in towards you and letting that other knee open out. Feeling that big stretch around the outside of the hip joint. Remember, there are many different ways that you can do these stretches. I'm showing you a couple of options. Just go with whatever feels right for you. Don't push yourself into any pain. If this feels all right and you want to straighten up the right leg, however, you can get that hamstring stretch in there as well. So try to relax your shoulders as much as you can, so you're not putting too much tension into those shoulders by holding onto the leg. And relax your jaw too. Allow the whole of the upper body to soften while the lower body works hard. Just one more deep breath here, in and out. And bend that right leg. Bring the foot down to the floor and release the other foot. Well done. Okay, we're just going to bring both knees in now and straighten the legs up towards the ceiling, taking the arms up to the ceiling as well. And then we're going to give them a shake. So shake the arms, shake the legs, just letting go. Good. Bring the feet back down to the floor, about hip width apart, and slide them in nice and close towards those hips. Rest your arms down by your sides with the palms facing down. So you want those arms to be nice and close towards your body. We're going to come up into a little bit of a bridge pose. So first of all, I want you to just focus on pressing your lower back down into the floor, lifting up your tailbone slightly, and then releasing. Just going to do that a couple of times. Just feeling into that lower back. And then I want you to start pressing down into your heels now, switching on these thigh muscles. And slowly, as you inhale, begin to lift your hips up into that ski slope shape and hold them there. So you might want to slide your shoulders a little bit closer in. It's always like tucking your shoulders underneath your body, and that makes it a little bit easier. Push down into those heels, and that will help to lift those hips up nice and high. We're just going to hold it for 2 breaths. If this is too much, you can support your hips with your hands, but if not, just keep pushing those hips up. Keep pressing down into the heels. Keep those thigh muscles switched on. One more breath, in and out. And then release, lowering those hips back down. Gosh, it sounds like there's loads of dogs going having a bit of a fight outside. Not very relaxing. So lower those hips back down and then just let them soften once again. So maybe just rocking into that lower back, pressing it down into the floor and then gently releasing. And then finally, bring your knees in towards your chest. Give them a little hug. And you might want to rock from side to side. Lovely. Now bring those feet back down to the floor and slide them out along the mat, straightening those legs. Bringing your hands to rest down by your sides. Just gently turn your head from side to side. Bringing the focus back to the breath. And then bringing that head to stillness. And you might want to close your eyes or soften your gaze as we move into Shavasana, our final resting pose of the class. Arguably the most important pose of the whole session. So spread your shoulders out nice and wide beneath you. Tuck your chin gently towards your chest, lengthening through the back of your neck. Rest your hands on the floor beside you, turning them so the palms face up. Wiggle your hips a little bit so that your lower back feels nice and comfortable. And then let your feet flop out to either side, letting go of any tension. Returning the focus once again to the breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Noticing the sensations as you breathe in and breathe out. Feeling your chest and your belly gently expand and fall with every breath. Trying to make your breath as slow as you possibly can once again. Really enjoying every bit of that inhale and exhale. Imagine if this breath was your last breath, how much you would enjoy every moment of it. Breathing in as deeply as you possibly can and releasing completely. Really enjoy the breath and feel the breath flowing through your body with every inhale, bringing that energy to your body. Feeling it travel through every part of the body, down to your toes and your fingertips, up to the crown of your head. Keeping you energized. So as the breath slows down once again, notice how your heart rate will naturally slow. Your body will begin to relax. You just start to switch off once again. Bring that focus inwards. Allow the mind to be nice and quiet. And if those thoughts do begin to creep in at any point, we're just going to acknowledge them and then send them away once again, saying not right now. Continuing to breathe slowly and deeply. Now beginning to relax through your whole body, starting with the feet. Let them gently flop out to the sides, feeling heavy and relaxed. Relaxing up through your legs, softening all the muscles in your calves and your shins, your thighs, all the way up to your hips. The whole of your lower body feels heavy and relaxed. allowing those hips to soften and open up even further, letting go of any tension, anything they might be holding on to that's not serving you purpose. You let it go. Softening through the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back, letting it all just sink down into the mat. Relaxing through the sides of your body and your shoulders. Feel those shoulder blades just melting apart, sinking down into the mat. Relaxing your belly and your chest. Feel everything soften. And allow the relaxation to make its way down your arms, all the way down to your fingertips. Letting those arms relax and feel heavy. Feel the back of your neck and the back of your head relax. Swallow gently to relax the muscles in your throat. Move your tongue away from the roof of your mouth to relax and soften that jaw. And smile to relax the muscles in your face. Allowing your whole body to be completely calm and relaxed. Now begin to take some deeper breaths, taking control of the breath once again. Breathing in fully, sending the breath through the body, allowing that breath to travel to every part, beginning to wake you up, energizing, giving you that energy to take into the rest of your day. And as you take these deep breaths, maybe just begin to move slightly, wriggling your fingers and toes, beginning to wake up. Float your arms up and over your head, take them behind you and take a big full body stretch. Kick through your heels, reach through your fingertips, waking up the whole body. And then float your arms back down by your side and slowly and carefully roll yourself onto one side, beginning to come up into a seated position once again. Sit yourself up nice and tall, rolling the shoulders back and down. And we'll finish with a deep breath in. Float the arms up and over your head. Really reach through those fingertips. Stretching, reaching. Bring the palms together. And exhale them down in front of you. Tuck your chin to your chest. And bow down to honour your practice. And that of everybody who's joined us this morning. Namaste, everybody. I hope you have a lovely weekend. And I will see you again during the week for our float away on Thursday night. Take care and I'll see you soon.